Thanks for tuning in to this edition of iHunt TV. Now, for many of us, whitetail deer hunting isn't about a weekend adventure. It's a year-long event. So come along with me on this episode as we go through the pre-season prep in the hunt, chasing mature whitetail deer in a place that I call the neighborhood. Welcome to the neighborhood. Yeah, I would say that I'm addicted to bow hunting deer. Now, the Missouri season runs from September 15th to January 15th. But I would venture to guess that, like many of you, I spend a good part of my year preparing for the coming season. Now, months before the season even starts, I'm checking my tree stands. I'm cutting shooting lanes, freshening up mineral sites, and just doing some general scouting. Now, I've been a huge proponent over the years of utilizing mock scrapes in my strategy. And I like to use trail cameras to inventory the bucks in an area. Now, engaging in the preseason scouting and preparation ritual is almost as fun as the hunt itself. Thanks for tuning in to iHunt TV. I'm out here today in the neighborhood, and I'm going to be trying to set up some mock scrapes and some cameras and stuff. I've already got a camera set right there. Got my Black Widow deer lures stuffed for my mock scrape to put out, and we're going to set it right there. And I got my stand right up there. I'm wearing gloves today, and we're looking at the new interdigital gland snap caps, the tarsal gland snap caps. I'm going to try these out today. Of course, we got our branch butter, which is I wouldn't say it's our bread and butter, but it's branch butter, and of course some Scrape Master scrape beads as well. And we're going to get this set up here, so stay tuned. Now, without a doubt, a deer's nose is its best defense, but it can also be its downfall. Now, when I bow hunt, I always try to play the wind. That's the best way to win this game. But I learned a long time ago, the wind is always blowing in some direction, and usually it's the wrong way. Now, while utilizing deer lures and cover scents does not guarantee that deer will be running under you all day long, you can increase your opportunities by creating scenarios and false realities that may get that buck to let his guard down. Now, mock scrapes are one of those tactics that can increase your odds. I got one more set I'm going to do down here just across the property line. I have permission to hunt that property as well, but we'll see what this one is. I'll turn my camera on and see how we go. There's here's some extreme interest. We'll just kind of spray around to get us. So right here is my one stand. I've killed a couple deer out of this one. I'm going to set up a kind of a mineral site right in here. I also like to incorporate mineral sites near my stand setups. Now, Missouri does not allow baiting during the season, but mineral supplements are perfectly legal in most areas of the state. The attractive minerals and nutrients help promote healthy antler growth, and in the late season, they help the deer to maintain their strength when cold weather sets in and food sources become scarce. Now, especially during the summer months, these setups are perfect locations to place trail cameras to inventory the bucks. As I mentioned, I always try to play the wind and will try to set my tree stands down from the prevailing winds from my mineral sites and mock scrapes. I've used this branch butter on drag lines with really good success. Well, the mock scrapes are all set, the mineral sites are freshened up, the cameras are out, and I was excited to see what was going to happen on those mock scrapes. I waited about a month before I went back in, and the day that I went in, I had these cameras, these new Tacticam reveals that I was going to go out and replace. And I got in there and they had stolen my cameras. Someone had come through. Now, we're hunting in the neighborhood. The neighborhood is an urban property. It's in the city limits of Kansas City, Missouri. It's surrounded by subdivisions. There's a walking trail along one side of it. So there's a lot of foot traffic. There's a lot of people walking through the neighborhood. We always get people coming through that property. 2 of my cameras were stolen, the 2 that I put over the mock scrapes that I set up there in my mineral site. So I took these Tacticam reveals and went back in and replaced them. I had some Python cable locks, and I made some homemade screw-in trail camera mounts. And I took my climbing sticks in, I went in and climbed up about 10 or 15 feet, screwed it into the tree, angled it down, and hoped for the best. Well, immediately started getting pictures. Now, one of the deer that we were chasing in these woods is a deer that I'm very familiar with, and it's a deer that I call Hooks. In 2017, I shot Hooks. He was about a 10-yard chip shot. It was a pretty steep angle, but I hit him right behind the front shoulder, and I thought he was dead. I found my arrow at about 100 yards. There was a good blood trail all the way down through. I tracked him for 300 yards and then lost blood. Well, I called a friend who knew somebody that had a dog, a tracking dog, and they came down and started looking for this deer. The dog tracked it about as far as I did. I was literally sick after losing that deer. Well, lo and behold, 2 weeks later, one of my trail cameras got a picture of him, and he was still alive and doing fine. And I continued to get trail camera pictures of him throughout the rest of the season. In 2018, again, he appeared. I got trail camera pictures of him, and he presented another shot, and I shot right over his back. So I was disgusted again. At least I didn't hit him that time. And then 2019 comes, I don't see him at all. But we did get pictures of him. Again, pictures late season, early season. During the rut, he was kind of non-existent, maybe 1 or 2 pictures during the rut. He's a ghost. And then this year, we got him on camera several times. Well, that was my #1 buck. But also, these cameras revealed that we had several nice bucks on the property, several nice shooters. And one of the bucks that showed up was a mainframe 8 with a left antler was bent down into a drop. And we thought he might be okay to shoot. Anyway, Jeremy, one of the other guys that hunts there, he took a shot at him and missed him. And then I know Michael, one of the other guys that hunts as well, he had a couple of encounters with that deer and wasn't able to close the deal. Well, in this next segment, Bentley made an appearance in front of yours truly. And this is what happened. It was December 19th, well after the Missouri farm season in the peak rut. Now, if there was a second rut for late blooming does, it was waning too. I'd been hunting hard and passed on several nice deer up to this point. I'd only tagged 1 doe so far in the season and I was getting tired. But I always say you can't win if you don't play. So I decided to spend my evening sit in the neighborhood. I checked the wind and elected to sit in a high stand we labeled the North Ridge stand. It's about 20 feet off the ground facing downhill, so it feels much higher. Now, this is the same stand that I shot Hooks from in 2017. We had several trail camera photos of my #1 shooter on the property up to this point, so I was hopeful. I was rapidly approaching the end of shooting hours this day, and the daylight was dimming fast when I heard the crunching of leaves behind me up the hill. Now, self-filming your hunts presents many unique challenges. When you don't have a cameraman, getting the target in frame is one of them. When you are filming strictly with point-of-view cameras like the Tacticams or your phone, you hope that your settings are correct to give you the best quality footage possible in the moment. Now, with any camera setup, the lack of adequate light adversely affects your footage. Shooting light was fading fast, and I had plenty of light to see my pins and make a confident shot. But I knew the video quality may end up a little grainy. But I'm hunting first and videoing second. Now, Bentley has a very distinct rack and from a distance I picked him out immediately. There were two smaller bucks traveling with him. Now his body was considerably bigger than the other two, and I knew that if they kept on the same path, I would have an opportunity to launch an arrow at Bentley. Now these bucks came down the hill behind me and were passing on my right, so I had to stand up and turn around in my lock-on. As they got close, they veered off and started to head down the hill, away from me. Bentley presented a quartering away 20-yard shot. As the sirens wailed in the background, providing this backdrop for the neighborhood, I watched as my Luminok danced through the trees. He went about 100 yards and actually fell down at the base of a ladder stand located on the other ridge. Now, it's always a bonus when you see him go down right in front of you. So this was an easy track. And it's a good thing because my phone was broke and I had no way of calling for help. It was all I could do to get that deer up the hill and back to my truck, let alone load him in the back of the pickup by myself.
Hey, you're tuning into iHunt TV. The monkey's off my back. Not the biggest deer I've ever shot, but this is a deer that we decided that we were going to take out of the neighborhood. It's a buck we call Bentley. He had a bent left antler, deformed left antler. It looks like he's broke the bent off. I don't know if it was when he hit the ground or what, but put the shot on him at about 20 yards, or right at into shooting light, and he ran maybe 100 yards. I watched him all the way and watched him go down. My Luminok disappeared. I didn't see it laying on the ground anywhere, so it may be up inside of him. He kind of fell on the arrow side and drove it all the way in. So I did not field dress him out there. I was by myself and my phone's dead. Couldn't call for help. But this buck right here, again, not the biggest buck I've ever shot, and probably smaller than the smallest one on my wall, which is one of the rules that I like to try to adhere to. But we definitely got her done tonight. I do need some meat, so I do try to shoot does for that, but it's been pretty slim pickings. I'm not seeing any of my shooters or the shooters I've been after. They've been getting killed during the rifle season. But this guy here, he'll eat just fine. And we're gonna get him hung up here, gutted, skinned, and let him hang. It's cool out. So Luminoc lit him up. Said this is not the arrow, but I was shooting an orange one. But I needed a Luminoc in my picture. So anyway, we're happy about having this deer on the ground and having him back at the house anyway. So stay tuned for more action from iHunt TV.
Now, as you can see, hunting white-tailed deer for me is a year-round event. The preseason preparation is almost as fun as the hunt, but I can tell you this, that good preseason preparation, the scouting, the mineral licks, the mock scrapes, the trail cameras, all of those things help your hunt be more fun. It's always more fun when you have deer coming in. Anyway, Bentley was not a deer that I was going to shoulder mount and put on the wall, but he did end up as a nice Euro mount, and he does have a place on the wall in my man room. So thank you for tuning in again. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did living it and making it. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and our Facebook page, and also check us out on a couple of new social media platforms, Go Wild and You Do Outdoors. Until next time, have a blessed day.